Hi guys, welcome to this week's episode of Heavy Metal Tones with me, your podcast host, Tony Evans. Now, as advertised on my TikTok channel on the weekend, I was going to do an episode on pagan beliefs and pagan metal and music in general for this last episode of the spooky month before the major Halloween episode that comes out on the 31st of October. But I spent about I don't know, 3 or 4 hours with my note taking. I then sat in front of the mic, took about 4 or 5 attempts. Each time that I tried to record it, it just wouldn't come out how I wanted it. I've kept the recordings so that maybe you can put them out in the future, but it just sounded like a rant on my part, and I don't know, it just didn't feel good, and I didn't want to put it out. So as a matter of direction change and time constraints, I thought I'd put out the episode that I recorded with Ralf Hauber from Heads for the Dead, Rotpit, and Revel in Flesh back on episode 151 on the 31st of January 2024, so almost 2 years ago. So this one here is in regards to his EP, In the Absence of Faith, which came out at that particular time. It's a brilliant EP, one of my favorite tracks, favorite albums or recordings of the band itself. They have a new album out, as you might know, because a couple of weeks ago I reviewed it and played a track in there for you guys. So hopefully you're going to acquaint yourself with this particular episode. 100 episodes back almost now, almost 2 years ago. It really has flown by. The difference in the show is quite incredible over 100 episodes. So I hope you enjoyed the interview. I know I did. Ralph is a friend of mine. He is a very, very good musician. I love his voice, one of the best voices in extreme metal at this moment. And I love the way that they conjure horror movie themes into their music, into this particular band, and this particular outing that he does. So here we are. It is interview with Ralf Hauber, lead singer of Heads for the Dead, on this particular episode, talking about In the Absence of Faith. Enjoy. So I'm with Ralf Hauber from Heads for the Dead and Rot Pit and Revel in Flesh, and he's one of my favourite singers at the moment. Has been for some time. What would you say you do? Horror death metal? Would you say your style of music?
Heads for the Dead concept is about mixing horror movie elements with death metal.
Yeah.
And so transferring the atmosphere from a horror movie into a death metal kind of package.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes hand in hand really well, doesn't it? Because horror movies and death metal are kind of synergy, haven't they?
Of course, it's the bands did it already in the late 80s, so it still works.
It does.
But the horror never stops.
Yeah. Because your latest release, In the Absence of Faith, which is a mini mini LP, I think is your best work with that band for me. I really, really think you've polished it so well.
It's always hard to pick up a favorite, but In the Absence of Faith is like a closed chapter because all songs on this mini LP are under the concept of losing faith or losing your belief, which is a common topic in horror movies. And the music on this mini LP was more focused on a melodic and more movie type of atmosphere. So it slightly differs from the previous albums, but it still feels like being Heads for the Dead release.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because it really was a sort of a different a sort of sidestep from The Conjuration, which is your last full-length LP. I just thought, like, track for track on it, I picked up that it was about that concept straight away, but particularly for me, the Possession, just brilliant. It's my single of the year.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm glad that you liked it. It's our Mike Oldfield tribute, so to say.
I love it.
And It came out nearly the same period when the Exorcist movie re-release came out at the cinemas as well. So, but this was not intended. It was a combination of luck and being there at the right time. So I think it really hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. I was just blown away because I'd listened to the snippets you sent out as singles before the EP came out, and you know, I mean, up to that point for me, I think your second album was my favorite. But Slash and Roll, you can't. I mean, listeners who haven't listened to your stuff and who listen to my show should go and I did do it in an episode on your on the Great Conjuration, but they should definitely listen to Slash and Roll. I think that's another classic of your
Slash and Roll was also like a close concept mini album based on the slasher movies we like most, and musically it was more like death and roll mixed with punk and horror elements, and it was really as well inspired by Wolverine Blues von Entombed in some way. In some way, but mixed up with you have the Ramones cover, you have the Misfits cover, and you have the little atmospheric elements in there too. So it's it really feels as well like a closed chapter being dedicated to the horror and rock and roll, so to say.
Yeah, I also, the packaging is so beautiful. I know that you don't listen to the packaging, but when I got that in the mail from because you were with Transcending Obscurity at the time, and I was just blown away by the artwork. Is just fantastic on that little EP. You know, I think it's one of my favorites of all of them. Yeah,
I'm glad you like it. It's also our vision to always have a complete package that the music and the artwork goes hand in hand, and that have an eye catcher on the cover. It's really important.
Yeah, it is. I think In the Absence of Faith was a great one. I'm not sure. I look at that picture all the time and trying to work out what I'm looking at. It's quite an interesting cover for the latest one.
That's a challenging one. It has been an idea of Johnny to use this cover. He created it from a tattoo he had, and many effects on it. It's done in a modern way. Art is always something like take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do something new, progress with new colors, progress with new elements, to go forward. Even with the Great Conjuration, we already started to change the color patterns of the art itself. We went more to a yellow-purple setting, and this time to more brown setting. In the first album, we had the red, white, black setting. Yes. So a new release, a new kind of setting to give it a fresh breath.
I agree with you, because when I was looking at the latest one, it did feel it sums up our album very well, the artwork, particularly this, as you said, The Absence of Faith. I really like the little nuances you put in, like, of course, the tubular bells in Possession, which was, made me smile. As soon as that came on, I was like, yeah, I got the goosebumps. It was like watching The Exorcist again. Was that hard to get that onto the work?
I think Johnny is really dedicated into the songwriting. He has his own mindset when writing the songs. And he also had a really good vision what kind of drum beats fit to his riffing. And then we worked together with Matt from Sentient Horror from the States, who does all the solo work, and he's fantastic guitar player and transfers the basic compositions on the next level, adding a sort of highlight to it within the songs with his solos, and reaching a new dimension to the songwriting process. My vocals embedded in the structures and behind around the solos and leads and atmospheric stuff. So it's like a puzzle you set together.
Because I thought that Matt's solos was fantastic on this last EP, just brilliant, very rock and roll, which was slightly different, which I liked as well.
He's pretty much influenced by more classical rock metal guitarists. I liked a lot, old Megadeth solos and Randy Rhoads and stuff like this. So
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting mix because all the people in your band have all been, they've got so much history of other bands they've been in. I mean, how did you find your voice is very distinct, very distinct, I find when I listen to it. I can know your voice as I hear it. How did you find that sound? Was it hard to find?
You mean now the combination of all people together, or
your vocals? Your vocals. Yeah.
I think back in time before we founded Revel in Flesh, I was in a band called Immortal Rights, and we did more some kind of melodic death metal, and I've done some backup vocals there. I realized, okay, maybe I have a stronger voice than the main vocalist, and we can work on this. And then the band fell apart. We still had song ideas left, and I thought I want to go on making music, and so let's try to record these old songs. And there was no vocalist, so I did the vocals. So this is what the first Revel in Flesh album came together. It was more like recording some sort of ideas I couldn't realize with the old band anymore. And this was maybe the basic point where Revel in Flesh started. And I learned the vocals from zero, so to say.
Wow. Because it has that sense, when you listen to hopefully the listeners to the show go and listen to your stuff, particularly all the way through Revel in Flesh to Heads for the Dead. Your voice is very dynamic in the respect that it's not, where people get scared about death metal vocals, I can't understand. I understand every word you say in your lyric, right? It's even though it's growling and aggressive and heavy, it's well enunciated,
That's the thing I'm really taking care about, that you hear the word, the single word. It's still the pronunciation is still understandable. So
yeah.
Sometimes you hear the German English. So maybe this make you laugh, but it's always, believe it or not, when it's not your native language, it's sometimes really hard to find the right words and to also involve new words in your death metal vocabulary, or how you like to spell it. So, yeah. But I really take care that the people understand at least the words. You have a lot of extreme vocalists out there where the vocals are just like a soundscape element.
Yes.
And I'm still inspired by the classical death metal vocalists like David Vincent, Carl Willis, Dave Ingram, and Jan Gris from Gorefest back then, where you really could hear the words, or
yes.
Chuck Schuldiner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because I think it would be really sad because your lyrics are really good. I mean, again, I keep going back to the latest EP, but the lyrics are just brilliant. Because I know all the movies that you've based them on. I've watched them all before I heard the songs. So when I heard the songs, I knew I just knew you could tell that you'd love the movie and you wanted to relate in lyric, and it wasn't just a mindless, like I said, soundscape. You actually tell a story.
Yeah, the lyrics are absolutely based on the movies and their message of the movies. So it also helps me to write the lyrics when I have more the movie concept in front of me, and the movie transfers a topic I really interested in. So it's also easier to write lyrics about it.
Yeah, because I felt that the opening track of the new one, which is based on Heart of Darkness, am I right? Am I remember rightly?
The Heart of Darkness is basically part of the Apocalypse Now. Yeah. And the Heart of Darkness was originally the book it was based on.
Yes, I thought so, because I'm going, I know that, and it's Apocalypse Now, which again is it's a nice mix because you go from that to The Exorcist, and it's really
it's the Apocalypse Now is based as a anti-war movie, but it also has the concept about losing faith and reaching the edge of madness.
Yes, it does. Down the river, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. You're going down the river, and Into the Heart of Darkness.
It was. I was true. Honestly, I was blown away by it because on the Slash and Roll EP, you have one of my favorite slasher movies of all, which is Maniac, right? Which I think, which is one of those movies. I grew up in the 80s during the video nasty thing and watching lots of very graphic horror movies when I was a kid. All of the nasties or the Fulci movies, the Dario Argento movies, I love them. But Maniac was one of those ones that always made me look a bit, it is one of those movies that makes you uncomfortable. Even Tom Savini said that when he did the makeup effects, he felt a little bit uncomfortable, like he'd gone too far. And I think that you portray that in the music in that EP really well.
Yeah, the movie is really scary.
It is.
But you can really have scary neighbors.
Yeah, you can. And each set piece is quite dramatically splashy and big. And I think that comes across in the music as well, So also I love the Halloween. My daughter's a big Halloween fan, big fan of John Carpenter's music. And when I sent her that, when that came out, I was like, "You've got to listen to this." It was just so it really summed up the movie so well.
Thanks
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do this this mini LP. It came also out during the Corona pandemic, and
Yes,
we basically did 2 releases during the pandemic. It was Into the Red and Slash and Roll EP, and it was really creative moments to focus on these songs, getting these lyrics together, and get into the atmosphere of the songs.
Do you record remotely, or the rest of the band not far from you?
The problem is Johnny Peterson is located in Sweden.
Yes.
In the north of Sweden, the Matt Moliti, who does the solo work, is located somewhere in the States.
All right.
And the drummer playing on In the Absence of Faith is located in Bristol, UK. And I'm sitting here in south of Germany.
Yeah. So it's like the world music.
Yes. You have to forget about the lovely picture you have of 4 or 5 people sitting in a rehearsal room and recording everything.
Yeah. Is that the modern way you think now? Yeah.
Everybody works a little bit on his own, and it works. For me as a vocalist and a lyric writer, it works really well because I can listen to the music, get into it, and get into my world to create the lyrics, to get into the mood, and then I book a local studio here and do the vocals.
Oh, nice.
Then I send up files to Johnny, and Johnny does the mix and mastering of the stuff. He adds certain effects or helps me to do different settings of the vocals or stuff like this. He's also a vocalist on his own, so he knows how things work.
Yeah. It doesn't come across like that. I was talking to Tony Doolan from Venom Inc. a little while ago. They recorded during their last album during the pandemic. Everyone's all over the world. And I was sort of a bit concerned that it would be flat because you're not dynamically together. But it doesn't come across that way at all.
Sometimes you have bands, when you listen to the albums, then you hear that they are rehearsal room writing bands. You have bands when you hear that, but you have also a lot of good written music, which is written from people all over the world, not placed in one room, and it still feels good. Yes. It's also the way how do you like to produce music, how do you like to write music, and what kind of feeling do you like to transfer. If you really like to do some kind of rehearsal room vibe or sound, then you need a more combined connection with more people in one room. But if you like to have a mix which is more clear, more separated, then it's really no problem to work on distance.
Yeah, and I think that's we're lucky in the modern world, aren't we, because of computer technology and the speed of internet and blah blah. Yeah. So where did you meet the band? Did you meet them from other bands, or?
with Johnny Peterson, I did the split with his band Boombas with Revel and Flash. I think this was like 2015 or 2016, and we have written a lot during that time, and also about music, about movies, and came to the conclusion of doing somewhere some music together. Then he was in Germany visiting Summer Breeze Festival. He stayed at my place and we talked, blah blah, drank a few beers, and then more or less the idea of doing something musically together has grown. He has started songwriting, I have done the vocals, and yes, this was the birthplace of Heads for the Dead, becoming the debut album. Surface Girls.
And where did you get the name for the name of the band? I have to find that out.
I think it's basically from part of the song from the band Death Breath from Sweden.
Gotcha. Okay, because I've been googling it, trying to work out. It was a movie quote, and I'm like, I can't find this.
I mean, there's a lyric phrase like "giving heads to the dead."
Yeah, fantastic.
And I had this in mind, and then we taking this Heads for the Dead, but it's like a classical horror movie, Night of the Living Dead or blah blah of the Dead.
Yes, yeah.
So.
Are you still watching modern? Do you watch modern horror movies and get inspiration, or you just only the older ones? Do you think?
The older ones are still the most inspiring ones, but I also like newer ones. I last year I think I watched the new version of the second version of The Nun, which was really cool.
Haven't seen it yet. No, I had some on my list to do.
I like those newer movies who have a sort of retro touch to it.
Yeah. Because one of my favorite movies of all time is The Thing, and you did The Thing, and it was like, well, how could you? I was like, oh, how can this be done? And it was, again, I'm always amazed by like that, You should just do Nosferatu for me now, and everything will be done.
You have good new movies too, but I think this is like horror genre is a little bit like death metal also. The good stuff is already written.
Yes. The golden eras, right? Yeah.
The golden years have gone. So.
Yeah. I agree. I think I agree because, like music with movies, when you've got that, how do I say it? When you've got that sort of pioneering frontier, when people there's no rules, you just do what you want to do. And I think that's why now we'd say make some music and a lot of movies, it's because it's now running to a formula because they've already been done. So you don't get that's why the older stuff I think is free and more mad in some ways because it's uncapped, right?
With the older stuff, I think it's more it's a part of your lifetime. You discover something and then it's really interesting. And you cannot reproduce this feeling anymore.
Yeah.
When you've seen The Exorcist for the very first time, it's a magical, shocking moment. You cannot reproduce this feeling. But you can transfer the feeling maybe in a new direction, in a new vibe, and giving a musical inspiration about it and develop your own ideas about it. So this is at least what we try to do.
Yeah. And in your other band in Rotpit, I listened to that recently because you sent me the link to listen to. It's again another sort of musical direction difference because it feels quite sludgy and grimy compared to other ones that you've done. Is that a deliberate move as well?
Of course, it was being. You have in Heads for Dead more the atmospheric elements. You have in Flash more the melodic elements, and Rotpit is about the rawness.
It feels raw. The guitar in it is very raw. I love it.
I absolutely enjoy this kind of raw and cave-on style of death metal, and it's different energy and different vibe about it. And I think my vocals work there really good too, to adding some kind of deeper elements to the soundscape.
Yeah, it's very cavernous. It has got that sort of cellar feel, right? The cellar dweller feel.
When we did the Rotpit stuff, it was let's try out 3 songs being in a style like old Finnish death metal, like old Demigod, the old abhorrent stuff, the pre-amorphous stuff, and Disgrace, or something more similar like this, mixed with our way of Swedish British influences as well, and keeping this music more not sounding like Revel and Flesh, not sounding like Wumbas, more like underground style.
And I think that's what really took my breath away when I listened to it. I thought, God, just take me back. It was like being in my mate's Mark's lounge room as a kid in London, putting on Celtic Frost for the first time, and going, what? Like, this is unbelievable. Like it had that feel, that real sort of very thick, big sound. Yeah,
there was the idea was to do it simple but effective. We have first had a 3-song demo. This demo turned out really well. I got a 7-inch version about it, and then we did the first album, same style but progressed in a different way, more atmospheric, some more melodic elements in it, but still raw to the bone. And now currently we're working already on the 2nd album. And it's gonna be more groovy, more brutal, and also with the cavernous elements. So it will be the next level of rottenness.
Yeah, I think you're very good at that, taking things to next levels. You don't seem like, listening to the growth of Heads for the Dead and Revel in Flesh. It doesn't stand still. It does change as it goes, and I think that's a good thing, because you're not getting the same old. And I mean this, the AC/DC thing, where it's just the same thing over and over and over.
Yes, you have to see with Heads for the Dead. It's a pretty wide open possibility to do this kind of concept. We also have elements in Heads for the Dead which the really narrow-minded old school death metal fan don't like. We have keyboards, we have soundscape elements, and we have some modern touch to it, but it's this kind of concept gives you the possibility to play with open cards, new ideas, and gives us the chance to do a release where you don't know what to expect.
Yes, and that's what I love. Yeah.
Now, of course, in some way, when you're playing in a band like Revel and Flesh, Wumbas, like Johnny, they are always connected with this kind of Swedish kind of death metal. And when you're sitting always in the same box, and people expect you to sound something similar like this. But for being the active part of it, I think for everything I do, I try to reinvent myself with new ideas, bringing new elements to it, and progress within the boundaries that are possible.
Yeah, I think that's good art, though, isn't it? I'm sure, that there's a lot of bands out there that feel trapped within there, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You do something different, the hardcore fans have a go. You don't do something different, you don't get that other audience. It's a bit of it's a tough decision.
But it's metal, and metal fans are sometimes less flexible.
Yeah. Yes, I've heard that.
But take a look at Iron Maiden, always using the same cover artist. In the same way, but it works for the people. The band progresses with its boundaries, of course, but they always have the same look, and what you get.
Yes, what you get. Exactly. That's why I love Maiden. Exactly. Yes.
Price in there, but that you signed a deal with it when you buy it.
Yes, exactly right. But they've done it. They've done it. I love Maiden because I love progressive music, right? and
Yes.
and they've slowly introduced it without anyone actually ever knowing.
Of course, with Revel and Flash, with each album we use the same cover artist, like Mr. Castellano from Spain.
Yeah.
And when you have all albums lying in front of you, it's like a huge landscape.
Oh,
It's all the same artist, and it's it's the trademark thing.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love the last cover.
You see it, you recognize it. It's like this is really a similar concept thing, like Iron Maiden, like Cannibal Corpse, like Amon Amarth is also a band dealing with the same settings, and it's a take it or leave it thing. But the good thing, I can do this with Revel and Flash. With Heads for the Dead, I can do something totally different, and with Rotpit, I do things looking nasty.
You're so lucky in that respect, Hey, speaking of logos and continuity, I actually like the old Heads for the Dead logo that was all entwined, looked like worms and things, and then you went like here with the more traditional.
You mean the hand-drawn logo?
Yes, yeah.
This logo was done back then from Mark Riddick, who also has done the Revel and Flash logo. The idea was that we go for a standard lettering logo to avoid the typical thing of being a death metal band from the right view,
Got you, yes.
And also to have it a little bit different than the Revel and Flash stuff.
Yes, yeah.
And I think when we released the Serpent's Curse album from Heads for the Dead, the artwork itself was really something challenging for people because they seen it and they thought, is it a horror movie? Is it a doom album? Is it a gothic album? Is it a black metal album? Or is it maybe a death metal album? It was open for many categories, and it's made it really, really interesting for people. Especially like the death metal thing, not many bands at this point worked so far with Studio Branca from Barcelona, and I think we really had a refreshing element to it.
Yeah, I love your artwork is also with the artwork. With the I was going to say that this one. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see? I don't. Hang on.
Just slash and roll.
Yeah. This is the one I get the most comment on. I've got all your T-shirts, but when I wear this one, this is the one I get the most comment on. People absolutely either look at it and get a bit like, "Oh, what are you wearing?" or they love it.
Yeah, it's a bit looking like a rock and roll design, It could be a Ramones shirt or something.
Exactly. It's my favorite one. I wear all the time. Yeah. And when you where do you go from here with Heads of the Dead? Have you got a new album coming out? Are you working on new material for that?
Johnny has already written like 10 new ideas for a possible new full-length album. Each song based on a specific movie.
Oh.
It will be a return to the classical horror movies. Not one specific thing, the whole album, different movies, but all rooting in the classical stuff.
Brilliant. I mean, again, it's what you do well.
We have Johnny has already written the basic songwriting. Lead guitars, solos are still missing, and it will be a mixture between In the Absence of Faith, The Great Conjuration, but also with more atmospheric to it and some surprising elements as well.
Brilliant.
I have so far no lyrics. I'm collecting ideas where to sing, which parts works for me for doing verses and stuff like this. I always have the ideas when I go walking and stuff. I have on headphones to get into the ideas and write down the lyrics, and
Yeah, I was one of the things I love words. I like writing, but I play very badly at the bass. But I could never write a song. It just sounds like, I don't know, just terrible rhyme after terrible rhyme when I put the pen to paper. So when people like you can write lyrics, and it's just I'm always amazed by it. You know.
Well, you simply have to do it, to do what you feel well with.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
let's see where this new album will go. It's still a long way, but we're into it. So
Brilliant. And would that be on Pulverized Records this time round again, like the EP?
it will be our next release as well on Pulverized Records.
Yeah.
We will give them a full-length album as well, and this In the Absence of Faith was the first release on Pulverized Records. It was good progress for us, and we are up to doing a new challenge on their label.
Yeah, because it's a good label. I mean, I like stuff off Transcending Obscurity. They have some crackingly interesting bands on that label. But it was interesting when you moved. I didn't. It was a surprise to me that you'd moved to Pulverized.
The thing is, the deal with Kunal and Transcending Obscurity was fulfilled. We had a good cooperation. He helped us a lot to build up the band and to get a good basic together. And I think the logical step for us was trying out a new business partner, a new setting. And the good thing for us is with Pulverized Records, they are main distributor in Europe is in Germany. It's Katchel from who also did the Revel Flash album. They have a main distribution here in middle of Germany. So for the European stuff, they have the Nuclear War now in the States, where people can buy their stuff, and they have their own shop in Singapore. So it's easier to get stuff.
It is, because when I ordered the EP, I got it from the Singapore because it's closer to Australia. It came very quickly. It was nice. Yeah. It was not like we have to wait 3 months. You know, it was almost here.
Yeah. We really had a good cooperation with Kunal and Transcending Obscurity. It was simply the thing moving on to something new and giving something new a chance to grow on both sides.
Yeah, and I really hope you do, because you know, I think that bands like you, not just Heads for the Dead, but Revel in Flesh, Rotpit, these are bands that are the basis of the movement, isn't it? You know, we all got our Slipknots and our Iron Maidens and our blah blah blahs, but it has to be underground to grow up, right?
Of course, I think you know, you have to see the facts. With Heads for the Dead, it's a studio project. We do studio recordings. We don't do live performance. It's really hard nowadays to keep a band growing when you don't play live.
Yeah, I know. That's one of those things that I'm never going to get to see live. It's like,
so, the thing is, you have the promotional process before the album gets released, and then you have the release process. And after 2 months after the release, the album will be going into the abyss, so to say.
Yes,
because there is so much stuff coming up next, and when you don't play live, you don't keep the circle going. So, but all we can do with Heads for That is doing new stuff, doing better stuff, and getting people to listen to the music and let the music itself speak. So
yeah, I think with you as well, particularly, it's a word of mouth. You know, that if someone loves something, they'll tell someone else, got to get this record, listen to this. And I suppose with the world of streaming now, it's much easier for people to just dive in quickly.
I think you have to see it like this. We released in the meanwhile 3 albums with Heads for the Dead and 2 mini albums. It's for a very short period of time. And it's really growing. We see that it's growing. So a new album will be the next logical step, and also the next step on reaching more people. But the scene and the media stuff is always changing with each year, and it's always a different way to reach out for people.
I mean, do you I mean, obviously you have listeners can find you on your Facebook page and your Bandcamp page, and I think Pulverized Records on there as well. You can go and buy your lovely product from there. But do you think that you would grow if you could play live? Do you think you would grow bigger, like quicker? Do you think?
Of course, it would be. I think this would be a really much bigger band if you would have played live.
Yeah,
because it attracts. Yeah, there is elements for a classical death metal fan, but also for people being more into the horror stuff. You know? And I think this has the capacity to reach more people. Absolutely, for that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a lot of us out there that love horror movies, and they also like our death metal. So it's nice to mix the two. I mean, obviously, a few bands do it. You know, it's quite a competitive subgenre.
Yeah.
But I think you do it with more elan and more style, to be honest with you.
It's when you listen to our stuff, it's like bands like Fulci or Necrophagia. You really that those are freaks. So and in the end, it's for freaks, you know.
I like Fulci because I like the way that Fulci has a lot of instrumental work in their work. I quite enjoy the because I really like Goblin, right? You know, and so it's nice to hear music that's sort of modern Goblin in that respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, Necrophagia has also been a big influence in doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can hear it as well. It's there, which is really fantastic. Yeah. So, are you playing live with Rotpit around? Are you got some live gigs for that?
Rotpit have not played live, but you never know. I think it's much easier to give to bring Rotpit on stage than Heads for the Dead. You know,
locally.
Rotpit music is more like a classical rock lineup, you know.
Yeah.
But you need to perform, and you never know what happens. But I think it's more possible to see Rotpit than Heads for the Dead.
Yeah, so, I can just imagine. I can just imagine Heads for the Dead at Wacken. It'd be amazing. it'd be outstanding.
Yeah.
I think
sometimes it's good to have sometimes music which you can only listen at home or on headphones. And
true.
You know, sometimes.
The Beatles did it.
When a live show can't fix the imagination you have, then you ruin the band.
Yes.
Yeah. And with this Heads for the Dead, you have a lot of these movie elements and these samples and stuff, and it's more like a circus comes to town, and you can't do this with underground band, you know.
No, exactly. You need big video projectors, and
it's more like a circus comes to town, and this doesn't work, you know.
Brilliant. Oh, fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to hearing eventually the new stuff. But honestly, Ralf, I just love your work. I'm really pleased to have a chat with you. It's been it's one of my highlights of my year so far. And thank you very much.
The year has just started, so I'm glad to have you. So.
It will be. Trust me, it will be. But have you ever been to Australia yourself? Have you come over to this part of the world?
No, not really. I have never been to Australia or Asia. Never.
No. I think you'd enjoy it. Yeah, it's hotter.
There are still many places of the world I haven't seen, so check this list. So
one day, you never know, right? And if you're ever over here, you must let me know, because we'll have to catch up and have a beer. It'll be nice. Good German beer.
Yeah, this would be really, really nice.
Yeah. Well, thanks for chatting to me today. I've really, really enjoyed it. I know it's been difficult, you being in Germany, me being in Australia, and you work very hard, and it's not easy to run a music life and to live a normal life, because you've got to pay bills, right? It's not easy.
I really enjoyed it, and thanks a lot, man.
No, pleasure, man. I'm really looking forward to new stuff. I really do hope that the listeners to the show do go back into the back catalogue, because I did a review of The Great Conjuration when it came out. Actually, speaking of which, one of my quotes from one of my reviews is on the front cover of on a sticker.
Okay,
of
great.
The Great Conjuration. It's the top one, and it says "Heads of the Dead." Yeah, the top quote.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, Metal Ruse.
I've got the vinyl.
Yeah. So have I. I love I've got them all. I love them. So it's again such a nice package. You pull it out. The trouble with anything these days is you go, oh, it comes in 6 colors. What color? I have to get 4 of them.
It's the problem. There have been 5 colors. Okay, it's it has been done 500 pieces, 100 color each, 100 pieces each version, and the people tend to buy colors. Personally, when I buy vinyls, I often buy the standard black one.
Oh well, yeah, I do. I collect a big vinyl collection, and I'll have, if you do it in black and color, I buy both.
Yeah, but the freaking thing is, you really have people who want all versions. You have freaks out there who need all versions and stuff like this. It's really freaking me out because I have a huge music collection too, but I only have like 5 to 10 albums where I have different versions. So
yes, I have to say, certain bands will do that. Like Maiden, I buy every version. Like, Judas Priest, I'll buy every version. Like,
so you have like a whole living room full of Maiden stuff. So
I do.
Because I think collecting all Maiden stuff is probably financially the biggest nightmare you can have. So
I've got a friend of mine who's a massive Maiden fan, and Matt, he's a friend of he's a listener to the show, and his collection blow your mind. If you got, he did a video of his collection, jaw was on the floor. I'm like, oh my god, he's got everything.
Okay.
But then that's his thing. But he's got covered in Maiden tattoos, and that's his love, right? So
Of course, it's being a metal maniac to the bone. So
it is. He definitely is. He definitely is. But anyway, we better wrap it up because it's getting late here, and you probably need to rest because you've been worked so hard recently. But again, thanks for chatting, and I'll put all the links to all of your merch stuff in the show notes below, so people can hear it, click on it, and buy some of your lovely stuff. All right.
Thanks, man.
That's all right, man. Have the rest of your day, all right? Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Bye, mate.
Bye.
Bye.
That was the brilliant Ralf Hauber from Heads of the Dead, Rotpit, and Revel in Flesh. The episode I recorded back on the 31st of January 2024. A really nice guy. He's so helpful towards me and the show and backing the show, and he's such a real music nerd, which I love to bits. So, and since his interview, he has played live with Rotpit in Germany, and there are many more gigs hopefully coming. Do check out their latest album on Pulverized Records, Never Ending Night of Terror, a brilliant follow-on from their EP, as we talked about here in The Absence of Faith, another horror movie extravaganza. You will not regret it. It is fantastic. It's musically another notch up, and I will link my review for that album in the show notes below. Anyway, happy Halloween, and then next episode we'll be talking to Sarah Antagonizer from Antagonized about horror movies and where their band is going. That comes out on Halloween. Watch out for it. Bye for now.